Deebo Samuel requested to be traded. Deebo wants out. The Niners were going to make another huge mistake and hold on to Deebo for whatever freaking reason. And no, Deebo's going to save them from themselves because he wants out. What do you think of that?
First of all, how stupid was it of the 49ers to restructure his contract before the season last year? Just absolute dumb. I don't understand that. So
an 11 out of 1 on a scale of 1 to 10. An 11.
It's so dumb. Deebo's coming off of his worst season. The worst yards per carry, the worst yards per catch, the worst yards per touch from line of scrimmage. Shout out to Al Seiko who posted that this morning. His worst season. He is just kind of, I feel like what this is him flailing, right? Unable or unwilling to admit that he's the problem. He got just as many touches as he did the prior year, and he's struggling. So in his mind, he's once a superstar, damn near MVP of the league, the way he played in what was that,
21.
To this guy who he is now, which is just a shadow of himself. So I think he's flailing. I feel like he's trying to figure out why he's struggling, and he's probably blaming it on Kyle and the 49ers when it's in reality he's just not the same guy that he once was. It's interesting to me that he wants to be traded. This is either a Kyle thing or a Brock thing. I don't see what else it could be. Like, you either don't believe in your play caller or you don't believe in your quarterback. What else could it be? I don't understand. Or maybe he just wants to change the scenery. Maybe he's tired of Grant. Maybe he's tired of Grant reporting about him.
I don't want to spread rumors and stuff, but I did hear this from a credible source, and it's just one person. It's I heard that the relationship between Kyle and Deebo deteriorated during the season. And I was kind of trying to hint at it. I would take videos during practice without really much commentary, but just showing that they weren't standing next to each other. They were apart. They used to be like really close friends who would talk every day during a certain portion of practice. And by the end of the season, after he had complained about his touches, like, they were very much not talking. And I don't know. I mean, like, Deebo has a podcast. He has a lot of people that he's close to. I mean, I wonder if he was like complaining off the record, I'm not having a bad season, I'm getting shown up. It's really this thing going on over here.
How about this, Grant? What if you tried to trade me before this season to another podcast for another guest? I don't know if we would have the same relationship.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah, right? Like, they tried to trade Deebo in the offseason and it didn't work out. So how do you come back from that?
Right. Because Kyle's whole thing is like, Deebo, we're friends. And Deebo bought into that. Right. And then you try to trade him and it's like, oh, well, that's bullshit. This is just business. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I got it.
Yeah. I think that's probably where their relationships, the souring point started. Like, they legitimately tried to get a third for him and could not last year. So I think it's a combination of just, it got a little awkward last year throughout the entire team, not just between Deebo and Kyle. The whole team was a little awkward and uncomfortable last year. And Deebo's been struggling. Fan base is starting to turn on him. He's not the guy he once was, and he probably wants a fresh start. The question is, who's going to trade for him?
Dude, no one. And here's the other thing about Deebo. Like, you saw it in the picture. You can't really talk about it. No one really knows how much he weighs, but like, they list him at 215. Okay. He was 215 when they drafted him in 2019. He's not. I can't prove it, but he looks, to the untrained eye, like, if he went to the carnival and that guy who guesses your weight, you know what I'm saying? That guy who's allowed to do that, he guessed 240.
How tall is Deebo? 6?
5'11".
5'11". I'm 6'3". I weigh like 225 right now. And my stomach didn't look like, not quite like that right now. It's surprising to me, man. He's got a dad bod.
Is he trying to pull a James Harden? Like, yo, you can't trade me. You're not going to trade me to New England or Cleveland. I'm going to get cut, and then I'll lose the weight. And then I'll go to the team I want to go to.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, Deebo, man, what a tremendous season he had for the 49ers. And he had damn near carried them to a Super Bowl victory. But he's just...
It was a one-off. He
He's
was the
not
ice
himself.
baby of wide receivers. The one
His
good year.
his best days are behind him, unfortunately, for Deebo, I
Yeah.
think.
I
But
mean, he
hey,
was rapping and dancing at the same time, just like Vanilla. He was a dual threat, but he was a one-shot deal. Sorry.
Yeah.
We'll always remember Ice Ice Baby and we can watch the highlights, we can listen to the song. It was great. It's not coming back. Vanilla Ice isn't going to be dancing on that Super Bowl show next. He's not. He might still be able to.
Hey, Vanilla Ice flips houses now. Maybe that's the route Deebo could go. Start flipping houses.
Why not? Works for you.
It's good money. It's great money. Yeah.
One more thing about Deebo. So what killed me about Deebo this year is like he really ruined their season by demanding the ball more than he needed it. And Kyle kept capitulating and bending over for him and giving him what he wanted. So they finally, with the season on the line, they have Chicago, and people are talking about Kyle like getting traded to the Bears. And out of nowhere, because maybe he's going against, I don't even know why. 38 points. The Niners offense looks great. And Deebo gets 3 targets, 2 catches, 22 yards. Finally, Kyle does it and like mutes Deebo, moves on. They score. Deebo goes online a couple days later and says he's not getting the ball enough. The next game, the season's on the line, must win against the Rams. Deebo 7 targets, Niners 6 points and lose. Like Kyle should have taken a stand. Once Deebo put his hands on Tabor Pepper, it should have been suspension and you're done.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're clearly better off without him at this point. And now Deebo's the one that broke it off. It's just embarrassing.
It's on. I mean, this is why it could be a blessing in disguise. I think what they're going to end up doing is post-June release, because I don't know who's going to trade for Deebo, who's going to give up draft picks and pay him. So I think they're going to end up cutting him in June. Maybe they might get a 5th round for him, but I think this could be a blessing in disguise.
Or they could cut him in March and have it as a June 1 designation, like they did with Eric Armstead, or they could just cut him in June and
either way, it's going to be designated post-June. But like this could be a blessing in disguise, because I feel like Kyle has for a while now felt like he had to get Deebo the ball to a fault. Like he is focused on Deebo too much over the last couple of years because of his relationship. And so Deebo asking out could definitely open things up for this 49ers offense, which is something I know I've been talking about it. You've been talking about it. We would like to see the ball get distributed more evenly and not have a focus on this player is going to get the ball like so much. So this could be a blessing in disguise, but the Niners have some holes to fill. Not that Deebo's a giant hole, and it could be like I've been saying for a long time, it's addition by subtraction. But that does mean they're going to have to find another receiver, because Brandon Ayuk's probably not going to be back until, I don't know, November, December.
Why do you think Deebo wants out? I mean, it's a blessing for the Niners. They wouldn't have had the guts to do it themselves. Like, why is this happening? I mean, he could have held him hostage for another year, made a lot of money, got 90 targets. I mean, why?
I think it's everything, man. I think it's the relationship soured once they found out, once they tried to trade him.
Trade him last year.
He's struggling, which is probably embarrassing for a wide receiver to go through. I think it's just he wants a fresh start somewhere else. He's lost 2 Super Bowls with this organization. That's hard to deal with for him. So I think, everybody needs a fresh start sometimes. And that's probably all of that combined just makes him want to start over fresh somewhere, I would imagine.
That's interesting. You're right. And this season with the Niners was defined a lot by trauma and tragedy. There was a lot personal tragedy, and that outweighs football tragedy, of course. But if you think about it, the Niners team has endured a lot of football tragedies, and they do need a fresh start in the worst way. And you look at the Eagles, they endured the biggest football tragedy is losing the Super Bowl. It just is. They endured it. They really remade their defense. They got rid of a lot of older players and got a fresh start. There's so many guys on this team that didn't lose that Super Bowl. Jalen Carter didn't lose that Super Bowl. Javon Hargrave did.
Well, now you got receivers in back-to-back seasons. Brandon Ayuk last year, Deebo this year, wanting to be traded. So that is interesting. If Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel 100% believed in Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy, would they want to be traded?
No. But you know what? I'm still on Colin Brock's side. Like, if to me, the Niners should have a new policy. Any player who requests a trade gets it.
Yeah,
You want out? Say less. I'm not
agreed.
going to keep you here against. You're not doing us a favor. Go,
Right.
dude. Enjoy Tennessee,
Yep.
Jacksonville. You're
Agreed.
out.
Yeah.
It's such a weak move. It's like your girlfriend breaking up with you and being like, "No, please, no, come on, we're gonna." No, dude. Like, say less.
Like,
It's over.
like she's trying to like. I found a new guy I want to be with.
I like
And
him
you're like,
better than you. Oh my God,
no,
give me another
stay
chance. Come on,
here.
we had great times. Like, no.
It's
It's over.
it's for lack of better words, sucker shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It feels weak. And if your
Yeah.
friend is looking at you like, "Oh my God, don't do that, dude. Like, let it go. It's over.
Yeah.
Let it go, man. Come on, we'll go to Vegas. It's all right."
It's a good policy, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Moving forward, that's the direction they need.
Any player who wants out gets to go. You're out.
Yeah.
And only players on this team want to be here. That's how the Rams are.
I mean, I used to tell that to the kids in my practices when I coached basketball, right? Like, hey, if you don't want to be here, the door is right over there, dude. You know what I mean? Like that should be the mentality.
Yeah. So Deebo one, Ayuk's the other. I don't know what his mentality is going to be when he comes back off this injury. I don't know what his headspace is. He was pretty rough. Like the Ayuk year was rough. It hurt his image, hurt my perception of him. But he's still a young man. Who knows? Maybe he comes back and he's a leader for this team in a way that Deebo couldn't be. I don't know.
Yeah, but just looking, it's weird. Like if Deebo goes, which he probably will, I would assume. I hope Kyle's not going to try to talk him out of it. But who do we have? Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall? Brandon Ayuk's not coming back. So like they gotta find a receiver now. No.
Dude, are they going to draft a wide receiver in the first round?
No, I think they get a free agent. They go the free agent route, I'm thinking. Yeah. Or maybe Cowan actually gets to play.
Here's what I've been thinking about with Cowing. Cowing's interesting, but I feel like he's a bad fit with Brock. Brock likes tall wide receivers. Why does Brock like tall wide receivers? Brock's kind of short. In the pocket, he's not like Kyler short, but in the pocket, he's definitely like below the 50th percentile of quarterbacks in height. And he can see Jawan Jennings downfield. He can see George Kittle 30 yards downfield. Can he really see Jacob Cowing 30 yards downfield if he's not like the first guy in his progression? If he has to like scan the field and find that 5'8" dude way down, like Willie? I mean, maybe Herbert would. Maybe Ben Roethlisberger would. I don't know.
The Niners need a wide receiver one. They still haven't. They didn't have one last year. Brandon Ayuk, when he was healthy, you can argue as a wide receiver one. He's been wide receiver one on this team for 2 or 3 years, but I really feel like Brandon Ayuk should be a wide receiver two. But by default, he's been the wide receiver one. Now you got Ricky Pearsall and Jawan Jennings. Neither one of those guys is a WR1. So I don't know where they're going to find it. I'm guessing free agency. You know how many over the hill wide receivers are in free agency right now?
It's true. You might be able to get one for cheap. I don't like spending a lot of money on wide receivers because the top end of the market is exorbitant. We saw it with Brandon Ayuk, but you can get good wide receivers and you need them. I mean, the Chiefs didn't have them, and that's a big reason why they couldn't move the freaking ball.
This is another reason why I don't think anyone's trading for Deebo. I mean, there's so many wide receivers. I can't even remember them all, but like Diggs is out there. Cooper Kupp is out there. Like, you want Deebo over I don't want Deebo over either one of those guys. I'd rather have those two guys, and they're available.
Because the thing with Deebo too is like not only is his like skill set diminishing, but he's very vocal. He has a podcast. He complains. He's all about himself. He's not really much of a team guy. Yeah. Who needs that? Even if you're a bad team and you're like, well, we suck. We have targets to spare. Why don't we bring him over here to the Raiders? It's like, well, yeah, but he might mess up the culture you're trying to set.
I don't believe, like, if the Niners cut him at post June 1, they're going to eat, I think, like 10 million, something like that, dead cap. I believe I think that's right. But then I believe whoever gets Deebo, there's no guaranteed money for him, and so they can restructure him. He's probably going to get paid a lot less than he was this past season.
Yeah, I wonder if Deebo is in touch with reality in terms of what his market is. Like, does he think that he's going to get cut and then there's going to be a whole line of teams waiting for his services and bidding against each other? I don't think so. I think, would he even get a multi-year deal, or we'll give you a 1-year deal, see if you got something left?
He could probably a couple years, but it's not going to be paid like he is right now. I think, he's in for a rude awakening, or maybe he's aware of that. I don't know. but I think that's the reality for Deebo right now. Like he's never going to get a contract like he got with the 49ers. And what's funny is the Niners gave him a 3-year contract, which is kind of short. But then they reworked it. But they were right on the original by only giving him 3 years. But I don't. That's the big mystery is why they rework it last season. I don't understand that.